Welcome to Yoga Stretch. My name is Katy. Today we want to think positive. Now there's many times during yoga when we think perhaps about what we're going to do after or what we've done before the class, instead of paying our whole attention to what we're doing during the class. Now during that time, of course, we might have some negative thoughts about what we're doing, and I want you to think about turning those into positive thoughts. Negative thoughts have a way of getting their friends to come along and fill your mind up with bad things, and they make you feel bad also. So if we encourage the positive thoughts, they also have friends, and let's bring them in and have lots of them working in our minds so we can have a very positive and a good experience in yoga and come out with a lovely calm mind. All right, let's start off by lying down on the floor. So we're just going to pause here for several breaths. So you can press the elbows into the floor, lift the shoulder blades up, hug them together and flatten the back down. Place the hands one on top of the other on your belly. Lift your head up, tuck the chin in, lengthen through the back of the neck. And let's just drop the feet and the thighs outwards so we can relax into the hips. Start to bring your breath down to your belly. Find any tense spots around the waist, in the hips. Just scan your body around the neck and shoulders, into the legs and feet. Just release those muscles. Focus on your breath and the sound of your breath. Now we're going to walk those feet or one foot to the end position. Now let's hold that knee with the hands. Draw some circles with the knee. Let's change legs, bring the other knee to chest, and we're just going to draw 5 small circles with our hands clasped around the knee. That's it, beautiful. Let's bring the other knee to the chest and rock from side to side on the lower back. Now rolling is very good for encouraging positive thoughts. So let's bring the hands behind the knees and we're going to bring our chin to our chest and roll ourselves up to sitting. If you don't like back rolling, just stay seated for a moment. Drop your chin to chest, round the back out, and let's roll back and then place the feet down where we lift up. So give the back a little bit of a warm up and make it a slightly bigger roll each time. Try to keep your head off the floor and just roll onto the shoulders. So nice and comfortable with the feet coming down to the floor. This movement is quite calming for the body. Okay, beautiful. All right, we're going to just pause a moment and sit in a cross-leg position. So hands are on the knees, and let's breathe in, lift the shoulders up, breathe out, roll them down. Breathe in, lifting shoulders right up to ears, and breathe out, roll them down. Take 3 more breaths with your shoulder roll. Okay. So let's sit up nice and tall, and then we're going to move the head just to look over the right shoulder. So just bring your head as far as it will go and just release it a little bit. So you're not stretching at your furthest point. Then move your head around to the other side and see if you can move your head just as far on that side. Then looking forward as you breathe in, breathe out, turn your gaze to the shoulder, breathe in forward and breathe out, look over the other shoulder. Breathing in forward, now turn and look over your right shoulder. We're going to lift the chin and lower it down. So just lifting gently and lower it down, stretching into the side of the neck. Let's try that 2 more times. And just bring your head up to the neutral position, looking forward and turning the head to the other side. Lift and lower the chin. You can breathe in to lift, breathe out to lower. Let's try 2 more times. Now with your chin at your left shoulder, let's bring it down to the chest and to the right shoulder, then lift it up and over. So we're drawing a circle with our chin. Finishing off the circle at the left side, then lift the chin up and over and circle to the right. Just go quite slowly and make sure your neck stays comfortable. Finishing our last one. And let's bring our head forward. Okay, let's come into a cat position. Spread your fingers out nice and wide. We've got cat arch and cow pose. Breathe in, cat arch, big stretch between the shoulder blades. And breathe out, cow pose. Beautiful, breathe in, cat arch. Big stretch and breathe out, cow pose. And let's try that 3 more times, moving at the pace of your breath. Coming back to neutral cat, let's tuck the toes under and lift the hips. Down dog. Now walk your heels up and down. You might feel a little bit tight around your ankles and calves, and this will help to loosen up. Let's bring the heels towards the floor, and then shoulders towards hips. Pull the tummy up and bring your chest towards your thighs. Relax around your neck and shoulders. Just moving from side to side gently. Let's take 3 breaths into the rib cage. Now walk your feet to your hands. And let's hold the elbows, let the upper body hang down and move the elbows from side to side. Bring yourself to a standstill and then move the head forward and backward in a yes movement. And then side to side in a no movement. We're going to place our hands down and step into down dog again. And then rising up on the balls of the feet, come down to the knees and come into child's pose. So your knees can be a little wider than the hips. Let's extend those arms, forehead down. Slide shoulders towards hips, draw the waist up, and just try to move your shoulders a little bit. Make sure they're quite comfortable. Now, if it's not comfortable to have your elbows lifted, just lower your elbows to the floor if that's more comfortable for you. Otherwise, keep your elbows lifted with me. Let's take 3 big breaths into the back. Now, can we get the breath right down to the lower back? And then into the mid back and up into the neck and between the shoulder blades. Beautiful. Well, let's lift back up into a cat and walk those knees together and walk the hands back under shoulders. We're going to slide our right leg or left leg back and lift the right hand or the left hand up. We'll keep to the same side. Okay, now you can stay here in gate pose level 1, or you can extend your arm over your head and lift your leg up to hip height. Bring your shoulders to hips, nice firm waist. Now let's pause here and work into the hip and the side of the body. Lengthen, feel long and strong. Take 3 breaths. Take as big a breath as you can. Now we're going to lower the foot and windmill our arms to the other side and do a reverse gate pose. Now you can extend your arm, or if it's more comfortable for your shoulder, put your hand behind your head, draw the shoulders down and draw the elbow back. Breathe into the top side of the body where the ribs are open. Now let's windmill our arms back down to the floor. Bring the knees together, and we're going to do this on the other side. So now extend the right foot back and lift that right hand up to the ceiling. If you can, extend your arm to level 2, shoulders head towards hips, keep them nice and even. Then lift your leg up. Keep nice and strong around the hip. The buttocks should be firm, the arm extended. Head in line with the spine. Take 3 breaths here into the top side of the body. Now lower your foot down, windmill your arms to the other side. And again, finding that position where you can, in fact, get your shoulder down a little bit away from your ear. Extended arm is fine. And let's find that big stretch in the side of the body. Tuck that chin in and just lift that elbow or extend the arm a little bit more over the head. Take 3 big breaths into the side of the body that's stretching. And then windmill your arms back down to the floor. Tuck your toes under. And now we're going to walk our feet towards our hands in a forward fold. Let the upper body hang down, chin to chest, and just moving the torso and the arms just from side to side. And we're just going to do that 2 or 3 times. And place the hands on the shins. Breathe in and breathe out. Let's roll up to a standing position. Shoulders to ears, roll them back and down. Now we're in this position, we're going to come to a mountain pose. So we're going to bring the feet together and we've got 2 rounds of sun salute. How are our thoughts going? Now if you concentrate on what I'm saying and try to really apply the directions and the cues that I'm giving you to yourself, then you'll find you'll have a lot to think about during your yoga. And that will keep you positive. So looking forward, let's lift up the rib cage. Squeeze the buttocks a little, firm waist and thighs. Spread your toes out. Now lift the shoulders to ears, roll them back and draw them downwards. Make sure your neck is comfortable. Just move your head a little bit to make sure that there's no tightness in the back of the neck. Then stretch your fingers out, reach them down to the floor. Shoulders draw downwards. And let's take 3 breaths right around the rib cage. Expand your rib cage out as much as you can with your breath. And let's take a deep breath in. Sun salute, reach up, gaze up between your palms and breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in for flat back, hands can be on shins, keep the knees a little soft, hands on the toes or just in front. Bring the shoulders towards the hips and draw the waist up. Breathe out, forward fold and step back to plank. Let's breathe in and breathe out, plank to floor or just let the knees and the chest go down. Breathe in, cobra, high cobra and tuck toes under, lift the hips up. And let's pause here in our down dog, just moving from side to side 2 or 3 times. And then crouch, look between your thumbs, step your right foot forward, then your left flat back. And then breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, sun salute, lift up. And breathe out, hands down to sides. Let's do that one more time. Breathe in, sun salute. And breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in for flat back. And breathe out, forward fold. Step your left foot, then your right foot back to plank. Breathe in, breathe out, plank to floor or knees and chest down. Breathe in, cobra. Extend the arms, breathe out, and down dog. So just moving from side to side, just pausing in your down dog, and then crouch. Look between your thumbs, bring your left foot, then your right foot forward, flat back, and breathe out, forward fold. Deep breath in, sun salute, lift up, and breathe out, hands down to chest. Deep breath in and out.
Okay, let's turn around and face the front. Now we're going to start in mountain pose, and we've got some chair pose and twist. So let's stand nice and tall, lift the rib cage up, shoulders down. Let's take a deep breath in, sun salute. Reach up, stretch your arms, and then breathe out. Come into chair pose, hands to chest in prayer. Now from here we're going to pull our tummy in, push the hips back and lower the shoulders down. Take your left elbow on your right knee and look sideways. If you can, go to level 2, bring the elbow outside the knee and rotate through the rib cage just a little bit more so the hands line up with the center of the chest. Make sure your knees are stacked above the ankles. Now if you think about the weight in your feet, it should be evenly in your feet, and that will tell you pretty much if you're nice and balanced and your knees are above your hips. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And then bend forward, place your hands behind your back, lift your hips a little higher. Now reach the hands up in wide prayer, or press your palms together, link the fingers and reach them up to the ceiling. Pull the tummy up, lift the hips up, chin to chest. Breathe into your back. Now let the hands go down onto the lower back, tighten the tummy and sweep the arms forward into chair pose and prayer at chest. Now take the right elbow on the left knee, look sideways for level 1, level 2 elbow outside the knee and bring the hands to center of chest. Draw your waist in. Let's take 3 breaths here. Now just find the weight in your feet. Make sure it's nice and even. Come back into forward fold, lift your hips up. This time we're going to hold the backs of our knees or our calves, or slide your hands down towards your ankles. Pull the tummy up, lift the hips a little higher. Now put the weight evenly through the feet, so we're not pushing through the heels and locking the knees. We need to keep the knees just a little bit soft. Take 3 breaths around your back. Make sure you're pressing your feet evenly into the floor. If you're swaying, just bring yourself back to a steady, balanced position. Hands on shins, breathe in and breathe out. Let's roll the hands, slide the hands up the legs and lift ourselves back up. Roll the shoulders back and down. Beautiful. Give yourselves a little shake. I'm going to turn and face sideways again. And we're going to do a little bit of standing strength. So lifting up nice and tall, squeeze the buttocks. Make sure we're nice and firm around the hips. And deep breath in, sun salute. And breathe out, hands down to chest, coming into chair pose. And then stepping the left foot back. And then bring your left hand down in line with your foot, your right foot, and lift the right hand up. So we've got a lunge twist. So if you can drop your hips down a little bit more, we can put ourselves in position. So slide the shoulders to the hips. And let's breathe. Now open the top hand a little bit wider to stretch the chest. And let's take 3 breaths. Okay, beautiful. From here, we're going to lift. You can bring your back foot a bit closer. We're going to lift that left hand up, come into a reverse warrior 2. So try not to lean your torso too far over. Just lift up, shoulders are down. Push through the back heel so we can stretch the back leg without locking the knee. Reach your arms to opposite ends of the room so you get the stretch and the lengthening through the arms. Now we've got a reverse proud warrior, so let the back hand float down to the back thigh, rotate the front hand up, lift, looking at your arm or your palm, so your head stays lined up with your spine. Shoulders are down. This could be a little bit wobbly. Just stay stable, clear the mind, and think how well you're balancing and how strong you are in your reverse proud warrior. Okay, let's bring the back arm forward. Lifting the arms up, warrior one, bring the hands to chest, and we're going to step that back foot forward into a chair pose. Breathe in, lift the arms up, and breathe out. Lower them down, bring them back to your chest in prayer. Deep breath in and out. Let's do that again. Deep breath in, sun salute. Come into chair pose, breathe out. And this time we're stepping our right foot back, and we're going to bring our right hand down to the floor, lifting our left hand up, and if you can, drop your hips a little, and your knee and your ankle should be lined up perfectly, and your arms should be in a T position, lined up at the leg. Let's take 3 breaths here. Now the top hand, you can open out the chest to remind yourself that this is a chest stretch. Palm pressed firmly down. Now we might want to just bring the back foot a little bit closer and windmill ourselves up to a reverse warrior two. Quite challenging for balance. Torso upright. Our warrior positions are always strong positions, so we need to feel strong and confident. Take 3 breaths down to the belly. And then lower the back hand down, rotate the front palm, lift it up. Now the balance is being challenged. Gaze at the palm, the arm. Take 3 breaths into your belly. Focus on being strong and steady. Gaze at your palm intently. And then let's bring the back arm forward, lift both arms up, and breathe out. Step your back foot next to your front foot in chair pose, and then breathe in, lifting up, and breathe out. Lower the arms down, bring them back to chest in prayer. Deep breath in and out. Okay, let's lower the arms down, give the legs a shake. How are we feeling? Feeling quite positive? Still thinking positive thoughts about our yoga and our postures and how we're easing our muscles into them and getting the most we can out of the stretch. All right, now we're going to do some balances, and we'll start with a tree pose. Have your feet comfortably apart and just bring your hands down by your sides. Let's take a deep breath in, sun salute, and breathe out, hands down to chest. Roll your right foot forward, bring the knee out to the side. Remember to squeeze your buttocks together and bring the tail between the legs, tummy in, rib cage lifted, and shoulders down. You can stay here in this position, or you can bring your foot to your calf, or bring it a little higher and perhaps assist that foot up with your hand. From here, we're going to join the index finger and the thumb together and place one hand on the knee, and the other hand is going to float at the same height. Take 3 breaths into the belly. Keep the shoulders comfortable and down. Now lift your hands up above your head, breathing in and breathe out. Hands down to chest in prayer. Bring your knee forward, a little kick, and flat the foot down, lower the hands down, take a walk. Let's do that to the other side. Deep breath in, sun salute, and breathe out, hands down to chest. Roll your left foot forward and bring the knee out to the side. Squeeze your buttocks together, nice firm waist. Lift the rib cage up and shoulders should drop down. Pick the same foot position as you did for the last side. Now from here we're going to join our index finger and thumb into a circle and place one hand on the knee and float the other arm out to the side. Let's take 3 breaths here into the belly. Okay, breathe in, lift the arms up, breathe out, hands down to chest, bring the knee forward, a little kick, float the foot down and float the hands down. Let's take a walk. Now we have 2 more balances. We're going to go into pigeon and finish with a star pose. So deep breath in, sun salute, lift the arms up and breathe out, hands down to chest. Roll the right foot forward, pull the tummy in, take the ankle on the knee. Push the hips back further, so it's like a chair pose, so we really push the hips back, waist draws in, shoulders are down. You can stay a little bit higher up in this position, or level 2, bring the forearms to the shin. Let's take 3 breaths here. And then lifting up, bring the leg out to the side and the arms out to the side, reach, lift the rib cage, shoulders come down, reach a little further out to the side. Now let's pause here for 3 breaths. Now lift the arms above the head in prayer, lower your foot down and bring the hands back to chest. Deep breath in and out. Let's try that one more time on the other side. So hands down to side to begin with. Deep breath in, sun salute. Reach up, stretch into the chest and arms. Breathe out, hands down to chest and roll your left foot forward, firm waist, ankle on knee. And let's take a seat. So pushing those hips back. Now, if you can, just ease yourself a little lower. Now let's pause here for 3 breaths. And then let's lift up and bring the arms and the leg out to the side. Reaching the arms, reaching the leg. Let's take 3 breaths as we stretch out the arms, the chest and the leg. Bring the arms over the head, place the foot down and breathe out, hands down to chest. Deep breath in and out. Beautiful. Lower your hands down. Okay, now I'm going to turn around sideways and we're going to do some more standing strength. So let's lift up nice and tall. Take a deep breath in, sun salute, and breathe out, hands to chest and bend the knees. We're going to step our right foot back as far as we can, lift the arms up and over, and come into triangle preparation. So the heels should be lined up and the legs should be at least 1 metre apart. Now give your buttocks a little squeeze, tuck the tail under, nice firm waist and hips. Breathe in, reach forward, push the hip back. Reach, feel a stretch on the inner thigh as you reach. So as long as your hips are pushing back, you'll get the stretch on the inner thigh. Don't let your hips push out, tuck the tail under and reach forward. Then bring your arms into a T position. Slide shoulders towards hips, draw the waist in and make sure you're squeezing your buttocks and tucking that tail under just a little so we can get that inner thigh working. Let's take 3 breaths here into the top side of the body. Now lift up with your fingers and the side of your body. Bend your front knee, coming to warrior 2, palms face down. If your arms get tired, lower them down, lift them up. Keep those thoughts positive. Shoulders down, ribcage lifted. Squeeze your buttocks together. Make sure your inner thighs are working and your hips are working. This is a strong warrior posture. You should be confident and feel powerful and energized in this position. Take 3 breaths. Now lower the back hand down, rotate the front palm, lift it up, shoulders are down, look at your arm or your palm. Breathe into the front of the body, right down to the belly. Again, gazing at your palm, feeling strong in the proud warrior position. Then bring your arms back into a T, into the warrior position. And then we're going to breathe in, reach forward as far as you can. Then bring the elbow on the neck, close the palm into a fist. Lift the other hand up to the ceiling, or if you can, extend it diagonally. Shoulders are down away from hips. Chin tucked in, look for the length in the back of the neck. Press both feet firmly down, keep your buttocks firm. Take 3 breaths here. Then lower the arm down, place it on your hip or behind your back for half bind. If you can, join me for a full bind. Link the fingers, slide them over your buttocks and press the shoulder into the knee and the knee into the shoulder. Let's look sideways. Take 3 breaths down to the belly. Now releasing those hands, we're going to lift them up into a warrior 1 and breathe out. Hands to chest, come onto the toes and step forwards. Bring your hands down to the sides and let's start again. Deep breath in, sun salute. Breathe out, hands down to chest. Bend those knees into chair pose, then lift your left foot up, extend it back. Do this slowly if you can, otherwise quickly if that's uncomfortable. Bring your arms out nice and wide, open your chest. That's it, beautiful. So stretching the fingers out. Now squeeze the buttocks together, push the hips sideways and reach. Stretching the inner thigh. Really working that inner thigh quite strongly, coming into triangle. Now keep the buttocks squeezed, shoulders head towards hips. Let's look sideways. You can gaze up at your thumb or look down at your fingers. There's no need to reach your hand to the floor. Perhaps if you're very flexible, it's easy, but generally when people reach to the floor, they're bending forwards. We don't want to do that. We just want to work into the side of the body. That's where the stretch is, and the inner thigh of that front leg. So let's bring our focus there and take 3 breaths. Now reaching up with the fingers, the side of the body, lifting yourself up. Beautiful work. Bend that front knee. Coming to warrior 2. So are you checking that your knee is in line with your ankle? Firm buttocks. Shoulders are down and rib cage lifted. This is our proud and strong warrior position. Look over your front middle finger and feel that confidence in you grow. Now let's lower the back hand down, proud warrior, rotate the palm, lift it up, gaze at that palm intently. Chin can be dropped down, you can look at your arm also. Pick a position that is quite comfortable for your neck. Bring down to the belly, keep those feet strong, press down. Okay, warrior 2. Breathe in, reach forward as far as you can, elbow to knee, close it into a fist, lift the hand up, bring the arm over. Now drop the hip down. If you find your hip lifting, just try and keep it down so you've got this nice straight line from the fingertips down to the outer edge of the foot. Try not to overreach with your shoulder, bring it back into the shoulder pocket. Let's breathe here down to the belly. Okay, beautiful. Now bring that hand either onto your hip or around your back. Hold your thigh for a half bind, or join me in a full bind. Linking the fingers, slide your hands over your buttocks and press your shoulder into your knee, looking sideways. Try and get your chest sideways if you can. If your shoulder rolls forward, just open the chest and try and get that shoulder to face the ceiling. 3 breaths here. Okay, release the hands, place them on the floor, walk your hands around sideways and pivot your feet to point forward. They should be parallel. Now taking the right hand directly under the chest, lift the left hand up to the ceiling. Now you want the weight evenly through your feet and your hands. So you don't want the weight in the heels. Now breathe, reach the arm up. Then you can bring the top arm behind your back for level 2 and just rotate the rib cage a little more, gazing at the ceiling. Now bring your hand down to the floor, place it under your chest where the right hand was, and now we're picking the right hand up and leaving the left hand on the floor. Weight evenly through the hands and feet. Lengthen through the spine and draw the waist up. Nice and strong. Feel the pressure in the palms and the feet pressing down. Level 2, arm behind the back. You can hold your opposite thigh. Rotate through the rib cage and gaze up at the ceiling. And then release. Bring your hand down to the floor. Now pivot your heels inwards and take your hands on your thighs and lift up into horse stance. Want to draw the waist in, push the hips back. Like in chair pose, you're trying to sit back as far as you can. So let's drop our right shoulder forward and stretch into the back. One side of the back stretching really beautifully. And then breathe in, looking forward. Let's stretch the other side of the back. This is a beautiful stretch for the back. Breathe in, lifting up, and breathe out. Stretch. And breathe in, lifting up, and breathe out. Big stretch in the back. Beautiful. Now let's breathe in, lift the hands above the head in prayer. Bring them down to chest and pivot your feet to face forward. Step forward. Take a deep breath in and out. All right, give yourselves a little shake, and then we're going to do a sun salute to bring us down to the floor. So standing up nice and tall, let's take a deep breath in, sun salute, and breathe out, hands down to chest. Deep breath in. Let's the hands follow the body line, down to the floor and flat back. Breathe out, forward fold and step back into a down dog. Now from here we're going to jump, we're going to walk or step our feet and sit down, or you can jump. So let's bend the knees, crouch, and then take a seat and extend the legs forward. So let's lift up nice and tall. Bringing the toes forward, and we're going to put our hands on the mat. Slide the fingers behind your hips. Try to have only your fingers on the floor, even though it might be tempting to flatten the hands down. Now lift the rib cage up and draw the shoulders down. Make sure your knees are a little bit bent so you're not working too much in the hips. And if you're very flexible, try and keep the backs of the knees off the floor, or use a rolled up towel under the backs of your knees. So lifting up tall, we don't want the shoulders lifting up, we want them to draw downwards. The waist draws in. Let's pause here and breathe. So tuck the chin in, lengthen up through the back of the neck as well as the back of the spine. Check in with your body and see how it feels. Do you need to make any little adjustments? Is this a little bit easier this time than it has been in the past? All right, let's take a deep breath now. Lifting the arms above the head, breathe out. Then bring your hands onto your shins, pull the tummy in, lean forward. Try to lengthen through the spine as much as you can. So you're working from bending from the hips. If you can reach your big toes, you can hold them with your index and middle finger. Now make sure the shoulders are down, the elbows are bent, and it's quite comfy around the neck. You can even wrap your hands around your feet. Just go somewhere where it's quite comfortable and you're not overstretching. Make sure you are stretching though, because sometimes people do so little, they're not getting a stretch. So you need to actually feel a bit of a stretch. Unless you're a very flexible person, you may not feel it. Okay, chin tucked in, lengthen through the back of the neck. Let's breathe into the back and around the belly. Now walk the hands up your legs. Place the hands just behind the back and walk your feet to the end position. Let's roll the shoulders and lift the rib cage up. So this is our level 1. If you want to stay here, do. Otherwise, level 2, we're coming into tabletop. So keep the chest open. Now the buttocks needs to be quite firm and the hips will stay up and chin to chest, or gaze up or lower your head back. Stretch the neck. Pick something that's comfortable. Press down with the heels of the hands. Take 3 breaths into the belly. Now let's take a seat and we're going to bring the right foot to the thigh and bring those toes forward from our extended leg. Now lifting up tall, make sure you're sitting evenly on your sit bones. Pull your tummy in and lean forward. So we're looking for that nice forward stretch. Pull the tummy in, nice straight spine. Chin tucked in slightly. You can relax a little bit forward. Remember the back of the knee stays off the floor. If you can hold the outer edge of your foot or wrap your hands around your foot, just depending on how flexible you are. So let's just let our body sink down as we breathe. Breathing right down to the belly and the lower back. Just feel your muscles release as you stay in the position a little bit longer. And then walk your hands back to hips. We're going to bring our leg over the other into an alert pose. Lifting hips up and sitting down. So try to line those knees up together. And then lift up tall through the spine and then ease yourself forward. Now for some people this is going to be very strong in the back of the knee. Perhaps cause tingling to the toes and go up into the hip, and that's okay. For some of you, you may not feel anything. Perhaps you can hold your foot. Okay, let's pause here for a few breaths. Getting that breath down as deep as you can into your lungs. How are those thoughts going? Are we staying positive? Even if it may be a little uncomfortable in the back of the leg, bring your breath down there and settle your muscles down. Settle your sciatic nerve down. It's a wonderful stretch. Now walk your hands back to your hips. You can leave your legs in this position, or you can bring your leg around into an alert pose, lifting the hips up and lower them down. Ideally your feet are out to the side, toes are forward, and their legs are quite even. We're going into cow face pose, so you may prefer if I change my direction so you can see me a little better. And then lifting that right arm up, let's bend the elbows, shoulders are down. That's it, lovely. You can hold both elbows if you prefer, but try to lift your spine up tall. Try not to be in a collapsed position. We need to try and strengthen the back muscles. So lifting up tall and looking forwards. You can also come into a cow face pose with the left arm going behind the back and reaching those fingers together. Now you might be able to do this on one side and perhaps not on the other. But whatever you choose, just make sure that you're comfortable and not overstretching. And then release. Okay, beautiful. We're going to unwrap those legs. Now this time I'll face forward so you can see me a little bit better, or perhaps sideways just for the reverse plank. Okay, so we've got the legs extended forward again. And we're going to slide the hands behind the hips. Bring one foot to the end position and lift the hips up. So as you can see, I'm lifted quite high with my hips, so nice firm buttocks, chin to chest, or gazing upwards, or lower the head back. Take a breath in the belly and breathe out. Let's change legs. Breathe in and breathe out. If you can, 2 legs, otherwise just keep changing your legs. And one more breath and breathe out. Let's sit down, and this time we're going to bring the other foot to thigh, lifting up nice and tall. Bring your toes forward. And then just walk the hands forward with a nice straight spine if you can, as much as possible. Chin tucked in, and bring yourself a little closer towards your thigh. Once you've found that position, if it's holding the foot, that's fine, or just hands down. So you just want to be nice and soft around the neck and shoulders, so we don't take away from the back of the leg stretching and the hip stretching. Okay, let's walk the hands back towards the hips and bring that leg across, coming into that nice stretch for the sciatic nerve. So line your 2 knees up, so you're really going to shake them into position. Lift the hips up, pull the tummy in, and let's lean forward. Again, quite strong in the back of the leg. Now for some people, again, this is not going to be very uncomfortable at all. For some of you, it will be. So I want you to think about easing that muscle out and the nerve. You just want to calm it down. So with your breath, it will calm down. So give it a little bit of time and be positive about it. So we're staying with our positive thinking. The hands back to hips now. I'll come around this way again. So the leg can stay extended forward, or you can bring that leg around to the alert pose. So if you pick your hips up, you can line your knees up a little bit more easily. Then here we go with our rabbit ears, or the whatever type of ears they might be out the side. And they should be ideally lined up with each other, and eventually that will happen if your body will allow it. So this time we're going to lift that left arm up. Lift the rib cage up, shoulders are down. You can hold both elbows if that's comfortable for you. Otherwise, join me in a cow face pose. So still staying up nice and tall. Keep your head lifted, looking forward, just like you're in mountain pose, except in a seated position. So let's take several breaths here. And then release. Okay, so we're going to undo those legs and bring ourselves on lengthways along the mat.
So you can just bring your feet a little bit apart and relax forward for a moment, breathing into the back. Okay, lifting up nice and tall, hands behind the knees. You're going to breathe in, lift up, and breathe out. Draw the waist in. You can walk the hands down the backs of your legs and take a lie down. Now let's keep the feet at the end position. We've got a ramp. So hands by the side. We're going to breathe into the belly, breathe out. Press the navel to spine and roll your hips forward so the lower back is flat on the back, flat on the mat. Then peel the vertebrae off the floor just one at a time. Lifting your head up, making sure you're repositioning it. And keep those hips lifted so the knees, hips and shoulders are lined up. This is a very good position to stay in. So working the buttocks, making it nice and strong. Now if you would like to come into a neck bridge, it is a bit stronger on the neck, but it's quite a nice position. So let's clasp the fingers, the hands, press the palms together and roll up onto the shoulders. Now lift the hips a bit higher, so you need to squeeze your buttocks firmer, then lower the fingers to the floor. Now breathe into the belly. And then release the hands, flatten the shoulder blades down and roll down one vertebrae at a time. Just rolling down, just nice and carefully. And let's bring the knees to the chest and give them a little hug. Tighten the waist down and rock from side to side on the small of the back. Beautiful. Bring your arms to a T position, lower your knees to one side, and you can place your hand on your knee. Turn your head the opposite direction. Keep your shoulder blades on the floor. Breathe into your chest. Now lift your knees up to the ceiling, lower them to the other side. Place your hand on your knee. Turn your head the opposite way. Breathing into the chest and the ribs. Alright, now we're going to lift those legs up into our dead bug. So have a little bend in the knees, firm up the waist, and then lift the arms up, relax the shoulder blades to the floor and let the fingers drop down. So make sure the back of the neck is nice and straight. Keep the waist firm. If this is not comfortable, just hug your knees to your chest. Now let's just take a few breaths here. Think about the effects on your body as we let the blood come down from our feet and our fingertips right back down to our heart. Bring the knees to the chest, give your knees a little hug and rock from side to side, just on that lower back. Now you can bring your feet as wide as the mat and drop the knees in, or you can bring the soles of the feet together, drop the knees out in butterfly pose. Press the elbows down, lift the shoulder blades up, hug them together, place the back down, and place your left hand on heart center, right hand on belly. Lift your head up, tuck the chin in, lengthen through the back of the neck. And just start to relax over the chest, the shoulders and neck. Breathe into the belly. Notice the change of the breath. So the breath may start to slow down now. Okay, let's bring those knees together and extend the legs, coming into a nice relaxation position. So let's drop the feet outwards, roll the thighs outwards. Make sure the shoulder blades are lovely and flat and the chest is open. Hands by sides, the palms are up. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Bring your breath down to your belly. Now you can stay in your relaxation position as long as you like, 5, 10, 20 minutes, whichever you prefer. Just turn off the video and pause for your relaxation. Then turn the video back on and join me to finish. So let's move the fingers and toes and bring the breath down to the belly. Walk your feet to the end position and roll to your side. Then lift up into a seated position, resting hands on knees or in the lap. Lift the rib cage up gently and relax the shoulders down. Bring the arms above the head in prayer. And breathe out, bring hands to chest and thumbs to heart center. Now breathe down to your belly, into the rib cage, into shoulders and back, and breathe out. Breathe into your belly again, rib cage, shoulders and back, and breathe out. Take one more deep breath in. Have a peaceful heart and a peaceful mind and a wonderful day. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the yoga, and if you did, press like and make a comment. You can also subscribe to my channel and get regular updates. Thank you for joining me.